coming at you over the airwaves from ESPN America. Check your AM, FM listing nearest you, plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airwaves of ESPN News. Number to call up as always is 888 say ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought to you by Barbasol. Hey, sports fans, Barbasol is offering you a chance to score big when you join the Barbasol Shave Club. Grab your premium starter kit for just $1.99 today with code SHAVE at Barbasol.com. Plus, the NBA playoffs are on ESPN Radio, presented by Indeed. Tune in tonight for Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals as Curry and the Golden State Warriors host Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern on most ESPN radio stations. Before I get back to the calls about Zion, about the draft, about the NBA playoffs, etc., I want to transition to a little football item. Two things. One concerns the Jets, my apologies. And the other story concerns someone who was once a Giant. First things first, Le'Veon Bell. You know, it's hard for me to put this in the words because, you see, here's what I'm focused on. Le'Veon Bell is no quiet boy. He's been suspended a couple of times. He's been injured on numerous occasions, holding out for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not some innocent kid in all of this. There are things he could have done better. There are better decisions that he could have made throughout his career. Although he's established himself as one of the best in the game today, no question. But when I witnessed what happened with the New York Jets yesterday, where Mike Maccagnan and one of his subordinates were relieved of their duties by Charles Johnson of the New York Jets, and Adam Gase not only remained as the head coach, but now he's the interim GM until they find a GM, I got to confess to y'all, I'm absolutely appalled. Ladies and gentlemen, what did Adam Gase do to deserve the Jets head coaching job? He coached 3 years in Miami. 3 years in Miami. 1 year, the first year, he went to the playoffs. The next 2 years, he missed. What the hell did he do to deserve to be the interim GM, to have even more responsibilities? He gets the New York Jets job. He disagrees with the money, according to Le'Veon Bell. I understand all the cap implications, the salary cap implications. Don't call me up here talking about that because I understand it. I get it. What I'm challenging everybody is to dig a little deeper than that. You just got the head coaching job with the New York Jets. Who the hell are you to come in there talking about you need X, Y, and Z in order to win? You applied for the job. You wanted the job. You were booted out of Miami. What did you do? What did you accomplish? See, this is why the Jets are the Jets. This is why the New England Patriots dominate the AFC East. The Jets, Buffalo, Miami, doesn't matter. Decisions. Even though I'm rooting for Miami. Some changes that took place there. And I'm rooting for them. But let me tell you something. I'm disgusted with the New York Jets. Listen, you want to get rid of Maccagnan? Get rid of him when you got rid of Todd Bowles. Clean house, I understand. But how do you get rid of Todd Bowles? You keep Maccagnan. You let him go through another draft for you. And then after you do all of that, now you're going to let him go and elevate Adam Gase of all people. Adam Gase hasn't even had a chance to pass gas as a member of the New York Jets. But now he running things. Why the hell that happened? What did he do to deserve that? And I'm starting to get very, very uncomfortable with stuff that I'm seeing. And I'm going to go here because, damn it, I feel like it. And I know, let me preface my comments. I know these are just football decisions. They have nothing to do. Nobody's looking at some candidate and they're saying, well, you know, you're black. I don't want you. You're white, I do want you. I'm not accusing anybody of that. That's not where I'm going. That's not what I'm thinking. What I'm trying to do is give a voice to the voiceless, for those from minority communities, to those who are not from minority communities, to highlight the discrepancy, to show you, even though that may not have been the motivational factor behind the decision, please understand that when those decisions occur, even though they're not based on race, people from disenfranchised communities, people from the minority community says, that doesn't happen for us. You can't do the job that Adam Gase did in Miami and have this going on with you for the New York Jets if you were a black person. You missed the playoffs 2 years in a row, 2 years, 3 years. There was really nothing ultra impressive that you did. You get the head coaching job in New York. You come and have a press conference. And although I'm not accusing him of being anything, I'm just teasing him facetiously. The way his eyes were looking during that press conference, he looked high. Somebody's got to say it. I'm going to say it. He looked high. He looked zooted. He looked like he was puffing and passing about 10 minutes before that press conference. That's how Adam Gase looked. And now we hear that he's the interim GM, that he had something to do with the Jets' decision to get rid of Mike Maccagnan? Really? Really? That he didn't want that money invested in the Le'Veon Bell. Well, let's look at the money invested in the Le'Veon Bell. $52.5 million. Incentives that could raise it to $61 million. $25 million in guaranteed money. My whole point to y'all is this. Any other time we look at the guarantee. So let's look at the guarantee now. Forget the $61 million. Forget the $52.5 million. Le'Veon Bell ain't worth $25 million. Le'Veon Bell ain't worth $25 million. Even though he sat out last year. Even though you don't have a definitive number one receiver. Even though you got a second-year quarterback that needs requisite weapons, not just out of the backfield, but as a dual threat as well. Le'Veon Bell ain't worth $25 million in guaranteed money. Then we hear that Adam Gase not only had a problem with that, but probably had a problem with C.J. Mosley getting about $43 million guaranteed when they just picked him up from the Ravens. I got it. I'm not even saying I disagree with the position. I'm saying, who the hell is Adam Gase to be able to usurp anybody's authority and be able to make those kind of decisions? What the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on? And just yesterday, we was hearing about the Jets and their GM prospects, and we heard the name of some guy, Daniel Jeremiah from the NFL Network. I think that's his name. Was that his name? Let me tell you something. I've seen him on TV. He's done a pretty damn good job. Informed, knowledgeable, good presence on television. Same thing I'd say about Mike Mayock for the Oakland Raiders. Ladies and gentlemen, they were analysts on television. How the hell you get in a position to be an executive for a National Football League team with zero executive experience in the profession whatsoever? All of these people live, eat, and breathe NFL football, have toiled through the terrain for decades, starving for an opportunity. And some dude that's never been in that position or any of those subordinate positions ever in their life are taken from the NFL Network and placed in executive roles. You think that's happening for a minority? Am I making y'all uncomfortable yet? Because I have to admit, I sincerely hope I am. I hope that you got your hair standing up on your skin. I hope that you're shivering in your chairs. I hope that you're sitting up there and moving around your neck, doing everything. I hope you are as uncomfortable as hell. When does that happen? For anybody but white folk. See, these are the questions because you got to understand it's about relationships, right? So what are you telling me? There's no black folks that have those relationships? And if that's true, why is that? Could it be that there's no diversity at the top to ingratiate diversity into the equation so it's not just happening for people on this one side of the fence? This is the National Football League. This is the number one sport in America. This is a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. And we are pulling people off of the NFL network. Or in John Lynch's case, even though he played, but no executive experience, and I actually think he's doing a good job in San Francisco. But that's not the point. The point is, how'd you get to that position? No experience whatsoever. How'd that happen? Am I making you uncomfortable? I hope I am. I hope y'all sitting up there throwing something at the TV right now or clicking or crashing your radio. I hope you're looking at me and ready to throw something at me. I don't give a damn. This is ridiculous. Where's my call? Hell with it. I don't want the job, and I certainly don't want to take the job from Steve Mills in New York, and I wouldn't have wanted to take the job from Magic Johnson when he was there in LA. But I wouldn't mind getting a call from the Knicks or the Lakers to be president of basketball operations. All I got to do is be on TV, right? And be pretty damn good at it. I too can be a president of operations for a professional sports team or a GM for a professional sports team. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But it's happening. And if Mike Mayock or Daniel Jeremiah are listening anywhere, my apologies. I mean to cast no aspersions upon you. You guys were great doing television. You were incredibly informed and knowledgeable. Nobody is questioning your knowledge. Nobody is questioning the job that you did on television. Nobody is questioning your competence. And I genuinely hope, sincerely from the bottom of my heart, that you both do a good job. In the event that Daniel Jeremiah ultimately gets this Jets job, which I'm not sure will happen, and of course with Mike Mayock, who's already in Oakland. And John Lynch is doing a fabulous job in San Francisco, or at least a good job, and he played the game. That's not where I'm going. I unfortunately have to use you all as examples to highlight a discrepancy and a flagrant level of unfairness when it comes to opportunities according to some that would never get accorded to others. That's what I'm doing. It's not about you personally. It's about anybody that's in your position that got to your position that way. That is not right. And guess what? It's not right to a bunch of white folks in the NFL that waited years and years and years starving for an opportunity of such, but didn't have the luxury of being on TV and having friends in those high places. So they're black folks and other minorities aren't the only ones getting screwed over. There's white people getting screwed over too that are qualified, that have toiled the terrain, and that have deserved, have worked to deserve an opportunity that has been flat out given to y'all. It ain't right. And somebody needs to say it. Hoarse voice and all. So damn it, if I have to lose my voice saying it, I'll do it. And if I made you uncomfortable, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn. I'm not talking about Mayock Lynch and in the case of Daniel Jeremiah. I'm talking about folks out there who are uncomfortable with what I say. I mean it. It ain't right. Now back to the Jets real quick. Adam Gase does not deserve to be in a position to be making any kind of decisions other than X's and O's about his football team. Doesn't deserve it. But he's doing it anyway. And I am not coming to the defense of Le'Veon Bell. And I certainly wouldn't come to the defense of an Odell Beckham Jr. on a different front, because even though it's voluntary OTAs, as I said on First Take this morning, you got traded from the Giants for a reason, and it wasn't your talent. It was because of the distraction you were perceived to be. And the fact that the coach, the general manager, and ownership got tired of having to talk about you, about non-football, on-field football-related matters. Or in some cases, on football field-related matters. So you wanted to turn over a new leaf and have a fresh start and be in Cleveland and having a ball. Odell Beckham Jr., if you're listening, you didn't do anything wrong per se. It's voluntary. It's voluntary. OT is, I get it. But you know what that's going to cause. You know that coach, Freddie Kitchens, who's a rookie, is going to be there answering questions about you. You know good and damn well that your absence is going to put the quarterback, Baker Mayfield, and others in a position where they're constantly having to ask questions about you instead of what they want to talk about, which is football. You know that. And so to give folks ammunition like that after you've just arrived, I just don't think it was wise. And I think it's people going to say Odell being Odell, and it's the Giants sitting back saying, see what we were talking about? Watch, this is just the beginning. That's what they're saying about you. You ain't the New England Patriots. You ain't delivering Super Bowls. You ain't going to have winning the gloss over the troubles or the headaches they say you cause. And Odell Beckham Jr. has to be mindful of that. That's just my personal opinion. 888-SAY-ESPN. You're listening live to Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. My man Carlton, it's been a long time, buddy. Sorry about my voice. How you doing?
I'm doing okay. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. My voice just went out on me last night, that's all, but I'm feeling good. What's up?
Well, I got a prediction. The New York Giants and the Pittsburgh Steelers will have better seasons than expected in comparison to the Raiders and Browns and Jets, who will all have worse seasons than expected. We're in May, Stephen A. And Le'Veon Bell, the guy who mucked up the Steelers' start of the season the last 4 years in a row and was absent from the playoffs 3 out of the 4, his final 4 years with the Steelers, and I'm not counting last year when he wasn't even on the roster, has already gotten the GM and the vice president of player personnel fired because, they believe Maccagnan way overpaid for this guy. The Jets lost 2 of their starting linemen this past year. By the way, that was an offensive line that produced a rushing attack that was 29th in yards per rushing attempt, right at the bottom of the league. Now, they did pick up a guard from the Raiders, who they're paying big dollars to. We'll see how they integrate him into the line. But my prediction is that Le'Veon Bell will be a shell of himself compared to running behind that Steelers offensive line that he enjoyed for all those years that he was a relative success in Pittsburgh. And the only reason I say relative success is, again, he was absent from the playoffs 3 out of the 4 years, his final 4 years playing with the Pittsburgh Steelers. These guys, these divas that cause problems above and beyond their production output, they're just not worth it. I'll be shocked if any of them produce. And, of course, Odell with Landry, his friend Landry there, has the best opportunity to actually produce, and the expectations are highest for the Browns. But if it starts to go south even there in terms of wins and losses, you watch that thing disintegrate there.
Yeah, but here's the problem that I have with your argument there. I don't disagree about the potential for problems there. I get you on all fronts. But when we talk about the Jets, why are you focusing more on Le'Veon Bell than you are on Adam Gase? All Le'Veon Bell did was sign a contract to come to the Jets. Whether you think that it was worth spending that much money on him or not, he was widely considered one of, if not the best in the league. He sat out last year, no mileage on his body whatsoever. You're the New York Jets. You don't have a definitive number 1 receiver. Not that deserves to be a number 1 receiver. You got a second-year quarterback in Sam Darnold. You had a suspect running game and what have you. You had a suspect passing game. This guy goes a long way towards helping you solve those things. And it ain't the first time Adam Gase has worked in a situation where he's had guys on his roster who were overpaid. So how does Le'Veon Bell signing excuse Adam Gase from apparently sort of backstabbing or usurping the authority of Mike Maccagnan and ultimately getting him booted out the door? How do you gloss over that, Carlton?
Mike Maccagnan was a disaster. They just shipped their first-round draft pick, Darren Lee, out to the Chiefs for what was it, a
Well,
sixth
stop right
or a
there. Stop right there.
seventh-round
Stop.
pick?
Hold on.
Remember
Yeah,
Christian
just six.
Hackenberg?
Hold on. Wait a minute, Carlton. Listen to my question. Because remember, they could have, and one could argue they should have gotten rid of Maccagnan when they got rid of Bowles, but they waited. What I'm saying is, apparently, they thought about keeping him, but then Adam Gase worked his way into the equation. 5 days earlier, he was claiming that the reports were taking him off because of reports about him having differences with Maccagnan. And then the next thing you know, Maccagnan is gone and Adam Gase's fingerprints are all over the place. That's the point. It's not about whether or not Maccagnan could have been gone. It's how he ended up leaving and when he ended up leaving. That's not about Johnson and the Jets. That's about Gase. What has Gase done to deserve the right to be able to pull something like that off, Carlton?
Maybe Gase just convinced the Johnsons that Maccagnan had been a disaster for the last 4 or 5 years, which he had. And I don't know. I don't know the internal politics of it. I have no problem with Maccagnan being gone. He should have been gone a long time ago.
Yeah, but I don't either. But I'm asking you. But you don't have a problem with Gase being able to be the one to pull that off? What has he done to be in a position to pull it off?
Again, maybe he just opened the Johnson's eyes that the guy should have been gone, and perhaps the Le'Veon Bell signing was the final straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak, and Johnson came around and said, we way overpaid for this guy. Here's what I will say: Le'Veon Bell had better be on his best behavior the next couple of years. He got a bucket load of money, far less than he wanted from the Steelers. Remember, he wanted over $17 million a year from the Steelers. He wanted to be paid as if he was a star wide receiver. But if he just helps continue the dysfunction in the New York Jets because of unhappiness, which he's been unhappy for the longest time in the NFL, he'll get blamed for a lot of it. And so he better watch his P's and Q's because he's already gotten 2 senior executives fired, it appears, from the New York Jets for their decision to sign the guy.
Carlton, appreciate you, man. Missed you. Glad you called in today, buddy. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon. Take it easy. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. That's my buddy Carlton. Calls from Tampa every now and then. Fantastic caller. Always love having him on the show. Deontay Wilder, heavyweight champion, up next with Stephen A. ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, people, I'm here to tell you about Zelle, a quick and easy way to send and receive money right from your banking app. Not sure what to get someone for their birthday, graduation, or housewarming? Send them money with Zelle, a truly one-size-fits-all present so they can buy whatever they want. The money goes directly into their bank account, typically within minutes if they are already enrolled with Zelle, so they don't have to wait long to spend it on the perfect gift for themselves. Look for Zelle in your banking app or get more info at ZellePay.com. Terms and conditions apply.